This is section 6.3.2, Writing Algebraic Expressions and Equations. In the last video, we reviewed the 5 steps or 5 strategies for solving word problems. Read and comprehend the problem, perhaps the most important. Let x represent one of the quantities in the problem. Step 2, if necessary, write expressions for other unknown quantities in the problem in terms of x. Step 3, write an equation that describes the problem. Step 4, solve the equation and answer the question. And finally, step 5, check your solution by substitution. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at several different examples of writing equations and solving them to answer the question. So here's our first one. These are pretty simple, very straightforward. They're not word problems. They're just statements that we need to translate into equations and then solve. 9 subtracted from 8 times a number is 39. Find the number. So we need to translate this into an equation. Well, it starts out saying 9 subtracted from, so we know we're going to use some subtraction. What are we subtracting it from? We're subtracting it from 8 times a number is 39. So these are the pieces that we need to translate into math. So 9 subtracted from 8 times a number. 8 times a number is going to be 8x. We're subtracting 9 from that is, meaning equals, 39. So here's our equation. 8x minus 9 equals 39. Now we have to find the number, meaning solve for x. So we're going to add 9 to both sides, and we're going to get 8x equals 48. Now we divide both sides by 8, and we get x equals 6. And of course, we can check this. If we plug 6 in for x, we get 8 times 6 minus 9 equals 39. And of course, 8 times 6 is 48. 48 minus 9 should equal 39, and indeed it does. So we can be sure that we've solved this correctly, and 6 is our answer. Here's our second example. A number increased by 40 is equal to 450. Find the number. So let's break it down. A number increased by 40, well, that's going to translate into x plus 40. Is means equals, or it actually says is equal to, so that means equals 450. So we go 450 right here. Find the number, so solve for x. Well, this is a pretty simple equation to solve. We just need to subtract 40 from both sides of the equation, and we're going to get x equals 410. A number increased by 12 is 4 times the number. Find the number. So we have a number increased by 12. So a number, x, increased by plus 12 is, means equals, 4 times the number. Well, 4 times the number means 4 times multiplication the number which we identified as x. Now we have to find the number, which means solve for x. So in this case, we need to get our x's on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'm going to get 12 equals 3x. And now we divide both sides by 3. X equals 4. Four subtracted from 6 times a number is 68. Find the number. So we have 4 subtracted from 6 times a number. So 6 times a number will be 6x. We're subtracting 4 from that, so minus 4 is, once again, means equals 68. So we have 68 equals 68. And now we solve for x. Add 4 to both sides. We get 6x equals 72. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals 12. The sum of a number and 29 is 54. Find the number. Well, we know the sum means add. What are we adding together? We're adding together a number and 29. So the sum of a number and 29 is 54. Solve for x, subtract 29 from both sides. X equals 25. And finally, the last one. We have 3 times the sum of 5 and a number is 48. So let's break it down. 3 times, so that means we're going to multiply by 3. What are we multiplying by 3? The sum of 5 and a number. All right, so we're 3 times the sum of 5 and a number. We don't know the number, so we call it x. Is, for equals, 48. 48. 3 times the quantity, 5 plus x equals 48. Now we solve for x. So we start by distributing. Then we can subtract 15 from both sides. Subtract 15, and we get 3x equals 33. Divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 11. And of course, we can always double check this by plugging it back in. So if we put 11 in for x, we'd have 3 times 5 plus 11 equals 48. Well, 5 plus 11 is 16, and 3 times 16 is 48, so we're correct. All right, so those were some examples of taking an English statement, writing an algebra equation, and then solving it to answer the question. Remember to apply the 5 steps that you see here, making sure that you read and comprehend the problem. That's always very important. And that finishes up section 6.3.2, writing algebraic expressions and equations.